to the worst thing you've ever done behind the scenes with the casting team. I'm Havilah Malone, the executive producer and head casting director. We have PJ Germain, our director and casting assistant throughout the process, and the fabulous Shanon Bobo, who is of Shanon Bobo Casting.
Yes. What a great team.
An amazing team.
Excellent.
And we're going to talk a little bit about like the process that we went through and the things that we discovered along the way and how we discovered our amazing cast for the worst thing you've ever done. Yeah, so I think one of the things that was really important in this process was being able to cast a wide net to make sure that we got the very best talent for this particular project. And so we got over 6,000 submissions. Yes, you heard us right. 6,000 submissions. Now, we were all very, look, I see the deep breath. We were all very intricately a part of, as those submissions were being received, combing through to make sure that nobody fell through the cracks. I think that was a really important part of our process. And so what was it like for you to get that big of an influx of people who were interested in this project?
First of all, oh my goodness, absolutely amazing. It had been a while since I've been a part of a casting team, because usually I've been kind of a one-man band. But when I tell you, anyone who submitted on this project, believe me, you got looked at. Everybody got seen. And I was like, wow, we're really giving a lot of people a lot of chances. Didn't matter their SAG status, or we looked at resumes, reels. It was absolutely like just the attention to detail and certain things, especially with both of you. Because I'm more of a, whenever I cast, honestly, sorry actors, sometimes I just go by intuition, and if we don't usually have as much time, and I usually don't have as much support. So this time around, I just had to up my game and just really pay attention to every single video, every single picture, because I mean, so thankful to be on a casting team in this way. Yes.
Yeah. And we went through every single person.
Yes.
We looked at every single one. We had our notes process where we would, compare, what we thought for each literal person. We'd like every single person. There was 3 sets of notes, and it was like, and then we would discuss it. And so there was a very, meticulous process that went into, going from the 6,000 to, I think we got down to like 500.
Yeah, so we went from 6,000 received submissions. We sent out 617 invitations. So going from 6,000 to 600 is quite a bit of chopping away. And what I think is really important, especially even for actors to know, even for people who had on their Actors Access, they did not have they only had a photo, and they didn't have a video or a slate shot. They were still looked at and considered. Like every single person.
And there were a few that just sent a photo that I was like, I want to see them. Give them a shot. And they sent their tape in, and we watched it. And there were times where, I think there was a couple, one or two of the girls that sent in for like one in training that I was like, I could see it. But just everyone got looked at. Everyone had an equal opportunity to wow us. And it was a process. Weeks. It was like 2 or 3 weeks.
It was grueling.
Every day, just each of us at our computer going through every single profile.
Hours upon hours.
Oh my God. I mean, we would be texting each other at like 1 o'clock in the morning, still going through. Oh my God, yeah. It was, but I mean, it was, even though it was meticulous and it was work, it was hard work, it was fun. And I think it
was a lot of fun. And especially seeing what people brought to their audition, like just the depth that people went through in order to get the tapes to us, and anyone who got callbacks, like it was such a hard decision to decide for many of the roles, and some of the roles were a slam dunk, but then other roles were very, very, very challenging to choose. the person.
So we went from 6,000 submissions received, 617 audition invitations sent out, to 23 people being invited for a callback for 8 roles. I mean, that is such a narrowing process, and sometimes it came to just things of, one, did you follow instructions?
There were a couple people that just weren't available for the callback too. I mean, I remember there was a couple guys that I was like, "Oh, you can't come, damn." But and I really wanted to see them because their tape was, their self tape was really good, and I could picture it. But just availability was also a factor. So
absolutely. And then also, I think a big part in why we decided to do all of our callbacks in person was the chemistry reads.
Yes.
To be able to see how characters played, how people played off of each other actually in person. And that made a huge difference.
Okay. I mean, there's 4 characters that we just decided, you're not going to read from the script, you're going to come in and you're just going to hang out and act like you guys are, you're going to improv, you're going to act like either you're dating or you're best friends, and then run with it. And like that, I've never done that before in an audition, and it was one of my favorite things because you really could see who can hold their own, given any circumstance, given anything that was thrown at them, you can see how they would react to it. And we got a lot of people that were just, diamonds in the rough, and the ones that we pulled out were the ones that it was meant to be.
Absolutely,
yes.
It was definitely when the role Aaron, I was like, that's him.
Yeah,
that was
Brady.
like,
oh my god,
oh my
yes.
goodness. I literally wrote, "That's our Aaron" on the sheet when he left, because I was left with chills. And this was the other guys that came in for that role were just so amazing. I was like, we were already kind of sold on a guy, and then when he walked in, I was like, that's it.
Yeah.
And it's also a thing of like never giving up, because Ben wasn't available for the callback, and he made it work. We ended up with the Zoom recording on him, right? It was beyond me.
He and his friend did the callback together, for him. But we never got to see him in person until he came for
his fitting.
So that was the first time we met him, but we cast him just because he embodied that
character.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, you just know, like, someone can take on a role and it literally is them. The way that they're showing up, where it's undeniable. Even though there's extremely talented people.
So many talent.
There was
so many amazing
people.
talent. I was humbled by the amount of talent, and just super impressed with what everyone brought. And how, the script is great. It was obviously very professional setting. Where we conducted the callback interviews, they thought it was a much larger film than what it was. They were like,
it's like a big budget film.
They were so convinced. They were scrambling around when we first got there, when we were moving chairs and we had everything organized. And the guy who ran the facility, he was like, wait, so what's this feature? Like, he just started like, what is going on here? What is going on? And this, I believe, is because of what we brought. The energy had to match what we were bringing. Like it was a match, and that's why I believe that we found the talent the way we did. It was a challenging decisions, but for me, and I think we can all agree that's why he was on set. But Brady, I was like, literally the hair on my arm stood up when he left the room, and then each time he gave a different take, and I was like, what is happening? And this is I don't like to compare performers, but the other actors were so good too.
Yes.
But when he delivered, I was like, that's Aaron.
And one of the things that he brought too was like, because we had, beginning of the day, we kind of knew we
were already this is who was going to be
who was going to be that character.
A different actor, and then, but the whole time I was like, I really want to see Brady. Let's bring him in. And he came in the first time when he was by himself. Just, it was the chills that it gave was just, it was undeniable. And then, like, I wish people could see like what he did in each reading, because it was so
different but so in character and on brand. But then what we all noticed when he came back in to do the chemistry reads is that every single person he was playing against, he made them better.
Yes.
He made them better.
Everyone had to up their game with him. I was like,
but and it was organic. It wasn't that they were trying to match him.
Mm-hmm.
It was that he fed them something that was real and they could play with, and then he played against that, and it was natural. And that was the thing that I've always been looking for, especially for that character, was that that everything came natural and we weren't forcing anything, because it's such a touchy subject, the film. That if we were trying to force it, the whole facade would just crumble. The house of cards would just.
It's like, and it tells you how important your cast is to a project.
Right.
That it will literally live and die on that page with the people who are able to bring it to life. And so we did an amazing job.
Yes. I'm so grateful to be a part of that team. Like, it was, honestly, it's given me a second look at the way I normally would do it. Like, hopefully, and because it was just the past few projects, it was so budgeted that we just didn't have the time. But this time, I'm like, I don't care. Like this, because the way that magic, it had to be that way in order for it to be that magical. And so, I don't know, from Shanon Bobo casting, she learned the lesson of giving every single person a chance. Like, if you submit, you will be looked at. I can tell you that, because there's you never know if you get that second look.
That was the one thing we were committed to. Was every single person who submitted anything, they put themselves out there, that made themselves vulnerable to be considered for this project. You were considered. And we ended up with the best of the best for this particular film. And we look forward to seeing you in the next casting. Yes. So thank you so much from the casting team for The Worst Thing You Have Ever Done. I'm Havilah Malone, the executive producer and head casting director, here with PJ Germain, our writer, director, and Shanon Bobo, our casting director from Shanon Bobo Casting. So stay tuned. We have some more behind the scenes for you.